In this video, I'm just going to go over some of the highlights of what we had to do on the bus since our last posting. Since January of 23, I was working on the bus pretty much full-time myself. I was going there every day I could, and I had it at a DIY shop in Oregon where I spent most of my time. We had a full-size shipping container to use as a workshop, and some days were pretty cold, so we got through that, and I got through the hot summer. And so it was about August of last year when I decided we need to make a trip around the country just to test out all the bus work I did. And a number of things came up that we found we had to do a better job of. So one of those was privacy. When we go to public places like the Walmart or truck stops like Love's or any of those others that Travel America, quite often you're going to be parking really close to other people, trucks maybe, or cars or RVs. And it's nice to have some privacy, especially at nighttime when you turn on your inside lights, and then you're going to be looking like fish in a fishbowl if you don't have blackouts for your window. Now for an oven, I put in the Rec Pro propane oven, and that has a 3-burner top, has lights, and we had to go with a smaller size cooking sheet, but that's working pretty well. So I put 2 standard barbecue tanks down underneath in the storage part of the bus, and I ran 2 separate propane lines which I had custom made, so they're high quality. One goes to the propane oven and the other goes to the other side of the bus to the Renine hot water heater. So both of those are ignited by 12 volt, which is pretty low electricity usage, and that so far has been working great also. Some of the projects I had to complete on the bus since our last video was to build the entire solar electric system. So just in brief summary, what I did there is 1600 watts of solar panels. I built angle iron supports. I had them powder coated so they wouldn't rust. So they're on top of the bus, and I ran, they were 24 volt panels in series of 2. So I had 48 volts coming down into the MPPT charge controller. So it was a 150. So that was configuration I used, and it's been working really well. We did a 3000 watt Victron inverter and a DC to DC charger. That's an alternator charger, and it pulls from our 320 amp bus alternator and can charge 100 amps to the Battleborn battery bank. So I have 3 of the Game Changer Battleborn batteries. They're 270 amp hours each for a total of 810. So far we've been running without a generator, just between the battery bank, the solar, and the DC-DC charger. I think I'm going to take a walk down memory lane here. Spent a lot of 4th of July's out here having a Bob Baker's chicken barbecue. It's a pretty famous chicken recipe. And every 4th of July we would be here, and they would cook enough for hundreds of people. So this is where they used to do all the chicken barbecues for 4th of July. And there would be like metal bins set up about 3 foot high, and they would cook the chicken there. And there's the parking lot, and we had the different pavilions here. And this would always be full of people enjoying the chicken barbecue. Now we'll take a walk over by the marina and see what's going on over there. So this is Myers Point here, they call it. That's looking north up Cayuga Lake. Off to the left, that would be the west side of the lake where Teganic Falls State Park is. So I learned how to swim on this lake right here at this actual dock, but it's the actual place, but it's a different dock. The dock I learned to swim on was a little further south of that one, and it went out quite a lot farther into the lake. So I remember taking my first swimming lessons. The water was so cold I would actually be kind of purple when I got out of the water after the swim lessons, and it was really hard to get motivated to get into the water to start the swim lessons. So I'm not sure if the water's that cold right now. It's early June, but I imagine it would be cold to stay in here for about a half hour. Okay, so we're walking up on the lighthouse right now. I don't want to get too close. There's people fishing over there. Probably wonder what I'm up to. I just want to get a little closer view. You can see there's little birds here. They do quite a big bird thing here in this area. There's a lot of protected bird species. So right over here is the inlet where they come in for the marina. It's one of the entrances here. So my brother trained as a mason, a stone mason, and he went to apprentice school in Norway for 3 years. And we're going to walk over to this lighthouse that he built. Now it's listed as a historic marker for the town of Lansing. And he spent quite a lot of time. I don't know exactly how many weeks he spent on this, but it was quite a project. He had help with it. But he did all the work to cut the brick and make the big round base and the whole thing. It's a small scale of another lighthouse. And looking that way down the lake would be Ithaca, New York, and Ithaca College, and off to the left would be Cornell University. So right here is the lighthouse. I'm just going to try to walk up to this. Yep, actually has, the light is blinking up there. Over here is the little candy store, ice cream, soda, whatever. When I was a kid, I don't think it's open now, but we'll take a look at it, see what's going on. Well, doesn't look like it was back in the days when I would come here, but maybe it's just too early. We're still first week in June. But yep. Same concrete, everything, same building. Just the times have changed a little bit. And over here they got some of the biggest cottonwood trees I've ever seen. They are humongous. See them off there in the distance too, and there's a really big one over here. And these little cotton balls are coming out, floating around in the air. They kind of look like wishes or dandelion things when the wind blows on. And here's another one I remember as a kid. It's a little bit bigger, but still huge, like pretty much the same size. I'm sure it didn't grow too much wider since I was a kid, but it's a big one. If I get up close, you'll see. So maybe if I stood next to it, but we're back in Central Oregon after our long trip around the country. We went into New York, as you saw in this video, upstate New York. From there we went on to Boston and stayed with some family. I ended up catching a little illness. It lasted a few weeks of coughing and stuff. And then we worked our way down through New Jersey, down south through Virginia. Ended up going to a camp in North Carolina that we had planned to go to. We spent about a week there in Asheville. And then we traveled down to Atlanta and then over to Birmingham, where I got the bus air conditioners, finally got them repaired there. And we enjoyed that air conditioning all the way back to Oregon. In our future videos, we will be less about bus building, schoolie building, and more about recreation like downhill skiing, hiking, fishing, canoeing, kayaking, beaches, and that kind of thing. And that's really the reason I was inspired to build a schoolie in the first place, was to have that type of freedom. I think we finally got to a point where we got the schoolie built. We live in it full time now. We know what to expect, and we think we can handle all seasons. whether it's winter or summertime. In December, we're going to think about heading down to Arizona and spend about 3 months there, possibly the Quartzsite area, just to get out of the cold winters in the north. And so look forward to more content based on recreation and travel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so the algorithm will help it get out to more people that enjoy this type of content. And we'll see you in the next video.